Welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here. As always, I ask you guys to like this video if you feel like it was informative. Share it if you feel like it can help someone else. And if you're looking forward to more videos, make sure you hit the notification bell so that you are informed when a new video is uploaded. Now, when it comes to BV, I know that there are lots of women who have questions for their doctors, for their gynecologists. These women want to know why this infection is happening so that they can make some decisions that can curb the infection from happening. It's like, if I know why this is happening, I can do certain things to avoid it from happening. That sort of thing, right? Unfortunately, a lot of times these experts will straight up tell a woman that they have no idea where the infection is coming from or why the infection keeps coming back. And that's kind of scary because even if your gynecologist doesn't have their own theories about what's going on that they can share with you, they should at least be reading medical journals. They should be reading medical articles. They should be at least doing a little background investigating so that they have some useful information to offer to you when you ask those questions. Again, oftentimes these quote unquote experts cannot give you that. And that in itself is problematic because it really isn't rocket science when it comes to figuring out where the BV is stemming from, why it's recurring, and why oftentimes it's just difficult to get rid of it altogether. And before I even get into the educational piece of this video, I just would like to point out the fact that oftentimes all of the information that you guys see floating around social media from people who want to seem like they know what they're talking about, people who are kind of educated but still don't know what the hell they're talking about, what you will find is that people throw information around without being specific about anything. And that's where they can easily trip you up because they aren't really giving you the full story or the full picture. But then your decision making is based on partial information instead of the full picture. Okay, so let's get into the information. One of the most common ways for you to end up with any infection, yeast infection, bacterial infection, is for your regular ecology to be disrupted, for something to be going on that throws your natural balance off. If your pH, which can be tested inside of your vaginal tract, is higher than a 4.5, you have something going on that needs to be addressed. That's just common knowledge, okay? So what most women definitely need to understand is that if you want to minimize the chances of having an infection or having that infection to come back, you definitely have to pay attention to what is disrupting your ecology. Food plays a big role in throwing off your natural ecology. Medications can throw off your natural ecology. Introducing any sort of chemicals into your vaginal tract is definitely going to throw off your ecology. Unprotected sex has a way of throwing off your ecology. Even being stressed out can throw off your natural ecology. And when I speak of the vaginal ecology, I'm speaking of the microorganisms that are naturally in place to keep your situation healthy, to keep your situation balanced. There's already yeast inside of your vaginal tract that's normally naturally supposed to be there. The same thing with bacteria. You have good bacteria. The lactobacillus, that is like your number one defense inside of your vaginal tract in terms of your ecology, how it's made up to fight off pathogens, to fight off stuff that's unwanted that really wants to come inside and colonize your ecology. When that is disrupted, your natural defenses are weakened. And now your vagina can't do anything to help itself. So the yeast that's normally there can just grow out of control. The bacteria that's normally there is going to grow out of control. That is one of the main reasons how and why an infection can get ramped up. So this is definitely one way that we can look at infections and recurrent infections. There's some type of disruption to a woman's natural ecology, and once that disruption happens, the yeast that's already there is going to grow out of control. The bacteria that's already there is going to grow out of control. That is one way that we can look at infection and recurrent infection in women. The second, which is equally important perspective that we have to consider, is the fact that women may unknowingly be introducing bacteria into their environment. So as you guys just saw in the previous slide, there are different ways that you can unknowingly introduce bacteria into your environment, and God forbid your ecology is weakened for whatever reason, that bacteria is going to flourish and it will turn into a full-blown infection that needs to be addressed. Definitely have to keep that in mind. What I like to add that oftentimes just women in general aren't aware of, if they aren't a part of certain demographics or certain religious traditions, they wouldn't really know that there are certain hygiene practices that people adhere to, whether or not it's just a cultural thing or whether or not it's a religious thing. And I can speak to the fact that people of the Muslim faith, it is a part of their tradition to cleanse themselves a certain way each and every time they use the restroom. And it may seem a bit much or a bit OCD to someone outside of that faith, but in truth, that hygiene practice really does prevent pathogens from lingering on a person's body after they use the restroom. If you guys would like for a video where I kind of go over different cultural practices, especially for Black women in a diaspora, let me know in the comments. So ladies, if you or someone you know has been dealing with persistent or recurrent infection over time, and you have not been able to achieve the results that you're looking for using whatever medications have been prescribed to you by your gynecologist, I really strongly encourage you to head over to our Instagram account. It's Clean Cat Committee 305. I'll definitely leave it in the comment section so you guys can find it easily. You'll be able to find thousands of testimonials from women just like you that have been able to get rid of everything from unwanted vaginal odor to abnormal discharge, recurrent infections like yeast, BV, and UTIs. We've had women to address their infertility issues. We've had women to send us in lab work showing that they are no longer positive for HPV. We have PCOS women who are not only regulating their periods, but they're also getting pregnant and having babies. As always, please know that none of my statements or none of my products have been evaluated by the FDA. I'm not a medical professional What I am is a business owner that has created a range of products that have been able to yield amazing results for my customers. So instead of listening to what I have to say, I'm encouraging you to come over to the account and see what the women are saying about Forever Fresh.